through your nose and breathe out through your nose. And you can breathe at whatever speed feels good to you. And for now, that's all we're going to do. And so often in life, we lead these busy lives where we're doing a lot of things throughout our day. And at the beginning of a yoga class, we tend to connect to the breath, to give the mind permission to just get a bit quieter and to allow us to arrive in the body and connect back to the rhythm of the body. Like, how fast am I breathing today? And so as you sit, breathing in and out of your nose, see if it's possible to slow the breath down. And then we'll take it a little deeper. And when you breathe in next, breathe in through your nose, down the back of your throat and into your lungs. And as you breathe out, let the breath move, lungs, throat, and nose. And just keep going with this rhythm. Breathing in, nose, throat, and lungs. And eventually breathing out, lungs, throat, and nose. And as you breathe like this, notice the temperature of the breath change. Notice the temperature of your inhalation and your exhalation. Notice that it is possible to relax your face. And so particularly relaxing your jaw by maybe parting your teeth and your lips a little. So you're not holding tension in your jaw. And when we do breath work, when we do any kind of meditation, it's really normal that the mind gets distracted and that the mind might start talking to you about something different. The mind might start telling you about, I don't know, the shopping list or whatever else is happening in the rest of your day. And I just want you to know that that's okay. That happens to everybody. And if you notice that happening for you, the whole rhythm of meditation is that we notice we've been distracted and we just come back to the breath. And you don't have to worry about doing it wrong or making mistakes. This is the whole process of being human, is that we get distracted. And in meditation, we just notice, and then we come back to breathing in through the nose, throat, and lungs. And breathing out, eventually lungs, throat, and nose. And we'll just take a few more rounds of the breath like that at your own rhythm. Noticing your system begin to slow down. And then from here, bringing the hands to prayer in front of the heart, we take a moment to greet ourselves and each other in community. And so if you would like, here we bow the heads to the heart, welcoming each other into what is a community practice, even if we are in different rooms right now. And then gently opening your eyes. So from here, we'll come into some side stretches. And if you're in a chair, you may find that you want to be on the floor, or you might be able to do this in a chair. Just see how you feel. You're going to take your left fingertips to the ground and inhale your right arm up to the sky and over. Now this isn't complicated. You're just breathing into your side body. So notice what your neck is doing. We normally look towards the ground and kind of close the heart towards the ground. So as you breathe here, you may find you want to open your heart towards me and allow the neck to relax a little. As you inhale, come back up and we switch sides. And please feel free to move at your own pace here. So some of you will hold the side bend and breathe in and out. And some of you may want to move quite quickly between the two sides. All I'm going to ask is that you inhale up and you exhale over. And when you're in the side bend, breathe into your side ribs. So as you breathe in, feel the wings of your ribs opening, creating more space for your spine, for your lungs, for your heart, for all of these vital organs. Then as you breathe out, see if you can relax a little here. Feel free to breathe out through your mouth anytime you like. And switching sides if you've been on one for quite a while. And as you breathe in, feel your spine get longer. And as you breathe out, see if you can relax a little. And so the reason we're doing this is when we spend a lot of time sitting, our side body tends to get shorter. And as our side body gets shorter, the space for the spine, for the lungs, for our vital organs becomes compressed. And so this is first and foremost just about creating some space in your body. Good. And then coming back to center, we're going to come to a standing position. And you'll need a little bit of space around you, probably about this much. And we're going to come into what is called a shaking meditation. And so the purpose of this, noticing how loud my floor is, the purpose of this meditation is, it is a tool for us to release stress and tension in the body. And it's something that it happens in nature really normally, like animals do this, you know. If something's been chased by a tiger, it shakes when it is freed, because it's a way of releasing like hormones in the body out. And so that's what we're doing right now. We're just going to let go of some of the stress we may be carrying. So take the feet hip distance apart or wider, and I'd like you to bend your knees. And you're just going to begin to bounce here. You are welcome to close your eyes if that feels comfortable. I often find that when I'm doing something new, especially if it feels a bit weird, closing my eyes helps me to feel it rather than think about it. And so by keeping your knees soft, keep your knees bent, you're letting the movement ricochet through the body. A bit like if you were bouncing a tennis ball on the ground. And so make sure that they stay soft, that your knees stay bent, so that that bounce effect can continue as we move. Keep breathing, please. And so you can stay breathing out in and out of the nose, or you may find that you want to breathe out through the mouth. And if you're doing this, know that you can breathe out as loudly as you want. You are muted, you are free to be loud. And often the reason people are breathing out through the mouth is they're helping release tension. And now as you're moving, see if you want to make the movement bigger. You may find you want to start shaking your hands, your arms, your shoulders. Keep breathing. And then most difficult often is relaxing the head. So our neck muscles that do so much work for us often need a little bit of time to relax. So as you move here, see how it feels to maybe begin to nod and shake the head. As you see if it's possible, the head to start shaking with the rest of your body. Stay with your breath as you move here. And then notice if you want the movement to change. So sometimes people get really fast with this, or they get really big. One of my teachers, when she teaches this, She plays us like 80s rock and roll, which is not really my genre, but it makes her very happy. And she makes it into a dance. So there's more like stomping or there's more jumping. And I'm good with those movements. So choose what feels good for you and go with that, as long as you keep going. So ideally, we're just going to stay here in this movement for a little bit longer. So make it yours. Notice if it wants to be bigger or faster. Keep breathing. Remember the purpose. You're releasing tension. The world around us is in many ways a beautiful place, but it is a busy place. And it is a place where other people and the world around us can leave an impact on us. And so exercises like this are an opportunity for you to go, you know what, that isn't mine. I'm going to put that over there now and stop carrying it with me. We've got a little bit more of this, and then there'll be some other things, I promise. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And see if you can come to standing. And you may find that you're still moving a little bit, which I'm fine with. Or you may find that you become still really quickly. And relax your jaw. So parting your teeth and lips so that your jaw can relax, connect back to your breath. And just notice what has changed, if anything has changed. Notice the temperature of your body, the rhythm of your breath. Notice your awareness of being in the body. And then gently opening your eyes. We're going to come into another side bend, but standing. So as you inhale, reach the left arm up towards the sky. The wrist turns towards the sky. And hold on to the wrist with the right hand. Taking a moment here. And on your next inhalation again, lengthen up first. And then as you breathe out, lean over. Keep breathing, please. So I know that breathing in this position it becomes more challenging suddenly. And I promise it does that in my body too. But remember, what you're doing is creating space. Notice if you'd like to bend your knees. And notice if your head has turned towards the ground. See if it's possible to turn your face and your chest towards me. As you breathe in, come back up. And as you breathe out, we switch. Deepen the breath again. So here I tend to breathe in and out of the nose. Breathing into the side body, opening your chest towards me. And as you breathe in, come up. Okay, taking the feet wide, we're going to come into a hip opener in a standing position. This is called horse pose, and I have no idea why. I'm going to look it up before the next time that we meet. And so in this position, I'm going to try to not stand on the loud bit of floor. My feet are wide, my heels are in and my toes are out, and I'm going to bend my knees. Now, depending on how your body is today, you may be sitting really low in this, or you might be quite high up. I don't mind at all. But what is important in this position is that your core is engaged. So you're not back bending in it. Your tailbone is down. Your core is active. So your belly is drawing towards your spine. You're in the strength of your center here. So keep that. And we're going to stay in this position as we move the arms. And remember, you can sit really low or you can be quite high in it. But as you breathe in, you're going to take the arms wide and up to the sky. And as you breathe out, hands in prayer, bring them down your midline. And that's it. We're just going to keep repeating that. So move at your own rhythm. But as you breathe in, you reach the arms up. And as you breathe out, hands come down your midline in prayer. You may want to close your eyes here, but if it feels like you're going to fall over, keep them open. Inhale.
Sorry, Tamara, I've muted you. Sorry.
That's okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Lovely. We're still in the position, so keep going. Inhaling as you open. And exhaling down. One more. Okay, and now take your hands to your hips and bring your feet parallel. So the inner edges of my feet are parallel to each other. Breathe in as you lengthen up to the sky. And as you breathe out, fold forwards into a forward fold. And in this one, you can choose what you do with your body here. So some people really like to hold on to the opposite elbows and just shake out the head and sway side to side. Other people like interlinking their hands behind their back and lengthening their shoulders back. Some people like to be still in this pose, and some people like to move, bending one knee to the side and then the other. And I'm really good with all of those things. The purpose of this pose, the element that I care about, is that your head is ideally lower than your hips. So you're getting some of the inversion of being upside down, which is really wonderful in terms of its effects for your circulation and just, the effects on the body and the mind. So whichever variation you're in, staying there for just a couple more breaths. I'm feeling very grateful right now that it is not as hot as yesterday. I taught a class yesterday and I needed to have a towel next to me the whole time because it was such a sweaty situation. So this feels a lot more manageable today. Good. And on your next inhalation, take your hands to your hips and slowly come up, bending the knees as much as you need. And step your feet together. And we're going to come onto the mat, onto hands and knees. And on your hands and knees, make sure that your knees are underneath your hips and your hands are underneath your shoulders. And we're going to come into a movement called cat-cow, excuse me, which is just an opportunity to move your spine to its fullest extent. And so as you breathe in, look forwards, allow the back of your neck to get long. And as you breathe out, look towards your belly button and draw your belly towards your spine, arching the back. Sorry, curling the back even. As you inhale, you arch, tailbone to the sky, spine long. And as you breathe out, tailbone towards the mat, squeeze the air out. And now you might want to close your eyes. You really don't need them anymore. So you can feel this rather than think it through. Allow the breath rhythm to move you. So when you inhale, you lengthen forwards. And when you exhale, you curl under. Keep going. So just giving your spinal column a chance here to create some length beyond, excuse me, beyond what we experience on a daily basis. So often if we're sitting a lot, the spine doesn't have the luxury of really embracing its full curves. Well, this is a really simple exercise that you can do anytime it's appropriate to just give your spine a little bit of love. Now from here, I'm going to ask you to tuck your toes. So we're just going to open the soles of the feet a little. And so to do that, I tend to try to tuck my toes and then reach my fingers back and make sure that my little toes are also tucked if possible. So you might need to check that one. And then taking your hands to the mat in front of you, you are going to decide how deep you go with this. So some people are pretty much just in cat-cow with the toes tucked, and they feel it quite a lot in their feet already. And for some people, if they've got a little bit more space, they may want to move their hips towards their heels more. And some people can sit up. Now, I don't mind where you are with this at all. The level doesn't matter. What matters is how it feels in your body. So choose where you want to be in this position, where it feels like your feet are being given an opportunity to open, but it doesn't feel like a disaster. Come back to your breath. And if this sensation is new, if this feeling in your feet is new, which it is for many people, notice that. These little surfaces that carry us through life, right? These feet that do so many miraculous things for us. When was the last time that you gave your feet this much attention? And then coming out of it, take a moment to wriggle out the feet. As you step the feet back, we're going to come into what is called downward dog in yoga. So you're going to lift your hips towards the sky and bend the knees. So here, my feet are hip distance apart. My hands are shoulders distance apart. And I'm bending my knees a lot so that I'm just giving my spine space to get really long. And I'm shaking up my head. And if your upper body isn't used to this, your arms might get tired, and you're always welcome to just come onto your knees and have a break. They won't be here for very long, but in down dog, I really encourage you to shake out the head. Just give the neck some space as you play with lengthening the tailbone towards the sky. Good, and as you breathe in, I'd like you to stretch the right leg back. You might stretch it really high up or just above the ground, and then bring it forwards towards a lunge. So I tend to step my foot forward here, and then you might need to drag it to get yourself into the lunge. You may need to adjust your trousers if they are misbehaving. And then again, please choose the position that feels good here. So for some people in this pose, they take their hands to the mat and they just look forwards and their back knee is on the ground. Some people like to lift the back knee and roll forwards and back here. If there's any knee issues going on, you may want to take a pillow underneath your knee. And some people may want to take their hands to the front thigh and just come up a little higher. All of these poses are perfection. I'm just giving you some options to play with. And so if you are upright, notice that many of us have a tendency to like lay the belly onto the front thigh as a way of kind of chilling in this pose. And so if your body is doing that, notice what happens when you draw the belly away from the front thigh, draw the tailbone down, press into the front thigh with your hands, and see if you can deepen the lunge. And usually your left leg will start to talk to you more. Usually it's the front kind of hip area and quad area of your left leg that's also going to be your psoas muscle. And in this, please feel free to move in and out of it. So in all of these positions, you can hold them still, or sometimes movement really helps to just make the experience a little bit lighter. And notice what your chest is doing. So our chest and our hips, you know, these are two of the key hubs of the body, and they're really connected. And often if we're opening the hips, the heart will kind of try to close. And so notice if that's happening for you, and is it possible to roll the shoulders up, back, and down your back, opening the collarbones, even as you open in the hips. Good. And taking the hands to the ground, let's step back to the hands and knees, and just shake out the body. So in any manner that you like, you can shake out the legs, you can shake out the arms. This does not have to be graceful. Just give yourself a moment of free movement before we switch sides. So from here, lifting back to downward dog if you wish. As you inhale, reach the left leg up towards the sky. And as you exhale, step it forwards, coming into the low lunge. You may need to grab the ankle and bring it to where it needs to be. And I'll run you through the options again, but I'm going to encourage you to just do what you did on the first side. So some of you will have your hands on the ground, back knee down, looking forwards. Some people may want to be on their forearms. You may want to have the knee lifted and rolling forwards and back. And that can feel really lovely, especially in the quads. I mean, I say that, it feels lovely in my body. I was doing a lot of yoga with my mom recently, and she really hates everything about opening the hips. So I will acknowledge it doesn't have to be lovely, but it is, I think it's I believe it's a really important movement for the longevity of our bodies as we move through life, because these areas work so hard and they carry so much tension that this is a valuable movement, even if it isn't lovely right now. And some of you may have your hands on the front thigh. Remember, you can put a blanket or a pillow under the bottom knee if needed. And you can move in and out, or you can play with the activation we talked about. So drawing the belly away from the front thigh, tailbone rolls down. And as you breathe in, lengthen the spine, open the heart. And as you breathe out, see if you want to deepen the lunge. Just breathe into what is happening, especially in that right leg. Come back to your breath rhythm. And I know I was saying, I'm so happy it's not as hot as it was yesterday, but it is still hot. And I am in my little greenhouse of the living room, definitely still sweaty. And so if you need a towel break or a water break at any point, please feel free. Good. And then coming out of that, come back onto your hands and knees, and we cat-cow again. So feel free to close your eyes if you wish, but as you breathe in, you arch the back. And as you breathe out, you gaze towards the belly button. Keep going. Good. And then from there, we're going to come to a seated position. And I'm just going to take you through some opening for the shoulders and neck. And this applies to all of you, but Rafiq, especially for you, if it feels painful, really go gently with this one, and you can let me know if it's just not working and you would like an alternative. So for everybody, come to a comfortable seat, and I tend to elevate the hips. So I tend to sit up on something, whether that is cushions or books.
Sorry,
or a
Tamara,
chair.
we can't hear you.
Ooh, why not?
Okay, yeah, we can. Thank you.
You can hear me now?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. That was interesting. I have no idea what happened, but hopefully it won't happen again. So in a comfortable seat, sitting on pillows or books or a chair, whatever feels good, but ideally lifting the hips from the ground a little. We're going to come into an opening for the shoulders. It's kind of fiery. It's going to require a little bit of endurance because it can get a bit intense. And then we'll do something really gentle for the neck. So make sure that you have space to reach your arms apart here. You may not be able to see both of my fingertips, but hopefully one will do. And let's relax about it for a moment. So maybe your arms will come like wings, just move them freely a second. And then see if it's possible to draw the shoulders up towards the ears, back, and then down your back. So relaxing the shoulders a little. And then straightening the arms as much as possible. Allow the back of the neck to be long. So when the back of my neck is long, my gaze is either parallel or maybe even a little bit down towards the ground. And see if you can keep that length so you're not transferring tension to your neck. And then I'm going to ask you to flex your hands. So I'm flexing my fingertips so that my fingernails are pulling towards my head. And as I do this, the heel of my palm, so that's this bit, is pushing away from me. Spread your fingers. And now often when people first do this, there's a lot of sensation. And there's many reasons for this, but one of them is that this movement is the opposite of Instagram and Facebook and WhatsApp. So many of us are spending a lot of time touching machines in this position, and this is the antidote. And so the body's reaction is often a kind of trembling nerve stretch that feels like maybe this is an emergency, I can't quite tell yet. And I'm here to tell you that that sensation is good feedback to have, because it means you're creating space in a part of the body that doesn't experience a lot of space. And I know we're meeting for the first time for many of you, so I appreciate the trust that I'm asking for right now, but see if you can keep going. So keep pressing the hands away, keep breathing, and just watch as you're creating space here. So keep pulling the fingernails towards your head, keep pressing the palms of your hands away. Good, you've got one down, there's 3 more of these to go. Arms stay straight, take your hands into fists and roll the fists down towards the ground. And so notice, I'm just seeing myself in the Zoom laptop. Notice your arms are going to try to come down towards the ground. Don't let them. So lift your arms. Try to keep them at least parallel if possible. Maybe you close your eyes and come back to your breathing. You are nearly halfway. Relax your jaw. Slow your breath rate down. Remember, this is ultimately you giving medicine back to your upper body. And now keep your arms straight, but turn your inner wrist up towards the sky. Your arms will probably try and bend here, so keep them straight and they'll try to drop. So lovingly, don't let them drop, lift. Back of the neck stays long and keep breathing. Just breathe into the new section of the arms that you were just introduced to. Okay, last one. This is the fieriest one, but you have got this and we are nearly there. Open the palms. And now you're going to turn so that your hands are pressing away again, but this time your fingertips are pointing towards the ground. And I'd like you to pull your fingernails towards your body again and press the heels of your palm away. Now, I've been touching a lot of smartphones this week, so this is really intense in my body, and I've been doing this exercise for about 10 years. So if it's intense for you, I promise you are not alone. See if you can keep going. Keep breathing. Keep pressing the palms away. It's nearly over. It's going to feel amazing when it's done. 5, keep pressing. 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax the arms. Shake it out. Have a little wriggle. And just notice, maybe even closing your eyes a moment here, just notice what has changed in terms of space, circulation, and sensation of where your shoulders and your upper body is. And then we'll come into something a bit gentler for the neck. So reaching the left fingertips towards the ground, roll the shoulder down. Now my left fingertips are reaching towards the ground, but they're not touching the ground. So I'm creating length here. And then my right hand comes to the left side of my head. As you breathe in, lengthen the head up towards the sky. And then as you breathe out, relax the right ear towards the right shoulder. Close your eyes if it feels comfortable. And just slow down your breath. And so my top hand, the hand on my head, is not pressing very much at all. The neck muscles are not really muscles that we can force into doing things because they carry so much tension and they're very strong. So rather than pushing into them, we're going to use the breath here to give them permission to relax a little. So as you sit here, see if it's possible to breathe deeper than you normally would in this position. So I find in my body, and Many students also say this to me, that when they come into this position, they tend to breathe at a quite shallow level quite quickly. And that is a way for us to continue to hold tension in the neck, because sometimes it feels like protection. Sometimes muscular tension can feel like armor that we need because we're used to it. And then as I begin to deepen my breath, it can be really interesting to watch the muscles react. To begin to breathe slower and deeper. Keep reaching the left fingertips away. And now begin to trace the breath. So relaxing your jaw, allow your teeth and lips to part. Breathe into your jaw. Breathe into your neck. Breathe into your chest, your collarbones, your shoulder. Breathe deeper than you normally would here, if it feels okay. Breathe into your arm, your elbow, your wrist, and all the way into your fingertips, reaching towards the ground. Good. And now take your right hand to the right side of your head and gently push the head back to center. Take your time with this, be slow. And then just take a moment to notice the two sides. You can have your eyes closed if you would like, but just feeling the difference between the left and the right side of your head. And now let's give you back some balance. So reaching the right fingertips towards the ground, roll that shoulder down. And remember, my fingertips are reaching towards but not touching the ground. Taking my left hand to the right side of my head, inhale, lengthen up. And then as I breathe out, I soften my left ear towards my left shoulder. Closing your eyes if it feels okay. Slow your breath down here, relaxing your jaw. So let your teeth and lips open. Notice what is the habit of breathing here. Notice if it is fast. And then begin to slow it down even more. Keep reaching the right fingertips away actively. And remember, the left fingertips on top of the head are just a reminder that we're moving in this direction. They're not actually pushing. As rather than forcing these muscles, we are just giving them permission to relax. And then begin to guide the breath through the jaw, through the neck, across your collarbones, your shoulder, through your arm, your elbow, all the way to your fingertips. And then taking your left hand to the left side of your head, slowly bring the head back to center. And just take a moment to move the shoulders. Maybe move the head gently. Just feel the two sides. Good. And then from here, we're going to come to lying on the ground. So if you don't have a yoga mat, it's totally fine. You may just want to make sure you're on some carpet or a towel or a blanket. We're not going to do anything too fancy. So if it's floorboards, that's also fine. We're just going to come to lying on the back. And we're going to take a twist for the body. And so I'm going to have you take your left leg over the right as though you were crossing your legs. And then I'm going to get you to lift your hips and take them to the left. So you're just moving your hips over to the left a little bit and then roll onto your right side. Now my right hand comes onto my left thigh and my left arm reaches up and away. Now here, if it's comfortable, you're welcome to close your eyes. As you inhale, feel the length in your spinal column. And as you exhale, let that shoulder grow heavier. It doesn't have to touch the ground. Using your inhalation to create length and your exhalation to allow the body to relax a little here. Good. And coming back to center. Wriggle your way back to the middle, and then we switch. So the right leg comes over the left, and then you pick up your hips and just take them to the right a couple of inches, and then roll onto your left side. The left hand comes to the right thigh, and the right arm reaches up and away. And some days my arm is straight, and some days I just have the elbow bent. If it feels good here, you can close your eyes. Use your inhalation to create length. And use your exhalation to allow the shoulder to soften here. Stay with your breath. And then as you inhale, slowly come back to center. And we come to the final position, often the most popular position in any yoga class, which is your relaxation pose. So I'm going to give you a couple of options for this one. If your back is feeling sensitive or sore or in pain at all, I'm going to encourage you to bend your knees. You can take your feet wide and your knees to touch. If lying on your back is not comfortable for your body, you could also lie on your side, or you can come to a seated position. Keeping the feet wide and the knees together on your back if that feels good. And some people choose to extend their limbs, so reaching their arms and their legs away. And with this, if your legs are extended, my heels tend to be in and my toes out. And traditionally, we lie with our hands facing the sky. But you can also take your hands to your body, maybe onto your belly, your hips, your heart. Just choosing the position that feels good to you. This is a position where ideally you're giving yourself permission to rest. And rest is easier when we feel comfortable. And so whichever position you're in, take a moment to roll your shoulders down the back. And then closing your eyes if it feels okay. Some people like to take a t-shirt or a pillow over their eyes here, which you're welcome to do. And then here, allow your body to get heavier. And allow the breath rhythm that you have been so carefully controlling and observing in this lesson, allow the breath to just happen. Allow the breath to move through the body at whatever rhythm feels good. And watch here as the earth beneath you supports you. Notice as the earth holds you here, the body has permission to get heavier. allowing your feet and your legs to soften into the ground. Allow your hips to get heavier. Allow your pelvis to relax. Allow your spine, vertebra by vertebra, to soften. As you allow your belly, your ribs, and your chest to grow heavier here. Let your shoulders and your arms relax. Let your hands soften. Allow your neck to get heavier and softer here. And allow your head to sink into the ground beneath you. And staying here for just a few more rounds of breath. And then gradually begin to deepen your breath, breathing into the belly. Allow your fingertips and your toes to move. And gently draw your knees in towards your chest as you roll yourself side to side, coming to rest on your side. Resting on the ground again a moment, let your body get heavy. And then gradually make your way up to a comfortable seat again, maybe keeping your eyes closed. And when you come to that seat, I'm going to invite you to come to the same position you began this lesson with. So maybe with a hand on your body or in your lap. And here I'd like you to just notice the space that you've built for yourself. Notice the temperature of your body, the rhythm of your breath. Notice your connection to your breath. And then you can stay like this, or if you wish, taking the hands to prayer at the heart, bowing the head to the heart, in gratitude to ourselves and to this community. And then gently opening your eyes. Thank you.